December 5th, 1872. A British ship crew spots a vessel drifting silently in the Atlantic Ocean. No flag, no response to signals, just drifting. They board it. The food is still warm. A half-eaten breakfast sits on the captain's table. A child's toys are scattered on the floor. The cargo, completely untouched. But the captain, his wife, his 2-year-old daughter, and 7 sailors are gone. Not a single body, not a single drop of blood, just nothing. They had vanished off the face of the earth on a perfectly seaworthy ship in the middle of the ocean. This is the true story of the Mary Celeste, the most terrifying ghost ship in all of recorded history. And what actually happened is even darker. Before we get to the mystery, you need to know something. This ship was cursed before it even became famous. Built in 1861 in Nova Scotia, Canada, she was originally named the Amazon. Her very first captain died of illness within 48 hours of taking command. Her second voyage, she collided with another vessel. She was seized, sold, rebuilt, and renamed the Mary Celeste. 7 different owners in 11 years. Every chapter of her life touched by disaster. But in 1872, the ship got a fresh start, or so people thought. She was given to Captain Benjamin Spooner Briggs, an experienced, deeply respected sailor, and his love for his family. November 7th, 1872. The Mary Celeste departs from New York. Harbor. On board, Captain Briggs, his wife, and their toddler daughter. First mate, Albert Richardson. Second mate, Andrew Gilling. 4 experienced German sailors. And a cargo hold containing 1,701 barrels of industrial alcohol. The ship's log shows the weather was rough for the first 2 weeks. Storms, high waves, harsh Atlantic winds. The last recorded log entry is dated November 25th, 1872. The ship's position, near the island of Santa Maria in the Azores. For the next 10 days, nothing. No log entries, no sightings, no signals, gone from the record. December 5th, 1872, Captain David Morehouse of the British ship Dei Gratia spots a vessel drifting erratically about 400 miles east of the Azores. He recognizes it immediately. He and Captain Briggs were friends. Something is wrong. He sends first mate Oliver DeVoe and 2 men to board the ship. What they find will haunt them forever. The ship is completely intact. No fire damage, no collision marks, no broken masts. The hull, perfect. 6 months worth of food and water, untouched. The crew's personal belongings, still in their quarters. Sarah Briggs's sewing box, open, mid-project. The captain's watch, still ticking. The ship's cat, alive and calm. The cargo, 701 barrels of alcohol, almost completely undisturbed. But the lifeboat, missing. And the sounding rod, the tool used to measure water depth in the hold, was lying on the deck. 5.5 feet of water was sloshing in the ship's bottom. The ship's charts had been tossed about, and the final entry in the ship's log, November 25th, 10 days before discovery. The ship had drifted nearly 500 miles on its own, with no one at the helm. How is that possible? The ship was brought to Gibraltar. The British Vice Admiralty Court launched an inquiry led by prosecutor Frederick Solly Flood, a man convinced this was murder. He found what he believed were bloodstains on the deck, a suspicious slash on the bow, a sword with rust-colored stains in the captain's quarters. but laboratory analysis later proved the stains were not blood. Solly Flood suspected the crew of the Dei Grazia, the ship that found the Mary Celeste. Maybe they killed everyone and staged the ghost ship to claim the salvage reward. But the timeline made that impossible. The Dei Grazia had left New York 8 days after the Mary Celeste and was spotted by multiple witnesses the entire time. The crew's reputation was clean. No evidence, no charges. So what else was suggested? Theory 1, mutiny. Maybe the crew revolted against Captain Briggs, but Briggs was known as fair and disciplined, and his wife and child were on board. Why mutiny with a baby present? And where are the bodies? Theory 2, pirates. But pirates take cargo. The alcohol was worth a fortune. They didn't touch a single barrel. Theory 3, waterspout or seaquake. A sudden underwater earthquake could have panicked the crew, but the ship showed 0 structural damage. This doesn't hold up. Theory 4, the Bermuda Triangle. People love this one. But the Mary Celeste wasn't anywhere near the Bermuda Triangle. Pure myth. None of these theories survive the evidence. Which brings us to the most chilling theory of all, and the one that modern science now calls the most likely explanation. Remember those 1,001 barrels of industrial alcohol? When investigators inspected the cargo hold in Gibraltar, they found 9 of those barrels completely empty. The barrels were made of red oak, a wood far more porous than white oak. Over 300 gallons of highly volatile ethanol had leaked and evaporated. Inside the enclosed hold, the ship had just undergone a major refit before departure. Coal dust and sawdust had filtered into the bilges. One of the 2 pumps was found dismantled on deck, meaning the crew could not properly drain the hold. Captain Briggs checks the sounding rod and sees 3.5 feet of water. He tries to pump. Nothing comes out. The pump is broken. He doesn't know how bad it really is. And then he opens the hatch. A wave of heat hits them. The Azores' climate is warm. The alcohol vapors, trapped in the sealed hold for days, have built up to dangerous concentrations. The hatches blow open with a violent bang and a rush of air. No fire, no explosion that destroys the ship, but an invisible, terrifying pressure wave. A deflagration. Chemists Jack Rowbotham and Frank Mayer at the University of Manchester recreated this exact scenario using a 1/18 scale model of the Mary Celeste. They filled the hold with ethanol vapor at cold temperatures like New York. Nothing happened. When they simulated the warm Azores temperatures, the deflagration blew the hatches completely off the model. Briggs smells the fumes. He feels the explosion. He sees the blown hatch. He thinks the ship is about to explode or sink. He orders everyone into the lifeboat immediately. The plan was simple. Tether the lifeboat to the ship with a rope. Wait for the fumes to clear, then reboard. But something went wrong. The rope snapped, or the wind picked up suddenly. The Mary Celeste, with her sails still partially set, began to accelerate, and the lifeboat, with Captain Briggs, his wife Sarah, little Sophia, and 7 sailors, could not keep up. They watched their ship sail away, somewhere in the Atlantic Ocean, with no food, no water, no shelter. The lifeboat was swallowed by the sea. No trace was ever found. The Mary Celeste continued to sail under different owners for 12 more years. A ship soaked in tragedy, finally wrecked off the coast of Haiti in 1885 by her last captain, who deliberately ran her aground in an insurance fraud. The crew of the Dei Grazia, the men who found her, received only a fraction of the salvage reward they were owed. The court never fully trusted them. 10 people boarded the Mary Celeste in New York Harbor on November 7th, 1872. Not one of them was ever seen again. If this story disturbed you, it should, because the terrifying truth is not that something supernatural took them. It's that a chain of completely ordinary failures, a leaking barrel, a broken pump, a snapped rope, was enough to erase 10 lives from history. Subscribe, because the past is far darker than any horror story ever written. You've been warned.